Hello, welcome to Maker Monday. A week sure went by pretty fast, and we threw a holiday in there, and there certainly is a lot to be thankful for, even in this pandemic that we are experiencing. And so today is part 2. Don't panic if you didn't see part 1. Good news is on the side panel of the webinar, there's like a whole menu of things, and handouts is one of them. So you have 3 different handouts. The first, or I'm not sure what order they're in, but 2 of them are handouts from last week. They're relevant for this week, and they'll take you all the way back to last week. There's also a handout with the link to last week's video. And I also put that link in the follow-up email. So about an hour after this video, if you are live with us, you will get a follow-up and you will get to have the link to watch this again and the link to last week in case you want to put them together and watch them all at the same time, or show them and share them with somebody. You do have to register. In case you didn't know, that's what that is, registering online. You have to register to get into the link. That just helps us show how many people have watched it, and we've had 140 people watch last week's link already. So it's a good one, and you're gonna learn a lot. So that's sort of the details. Questions, type your questions in, and I will share them with Melody as we go along here, or I'll hold back till we have question answer time, but we will do our best to get to them. Any of the questions that we've missed from session 1 or session 2, I will address this week and get some answers out and do some follow-up with you. But I don't want to take up any more time because we are so ready to keep working in these books that we started last week. And I would like to introduce you to Melody Weintraub. She is an amazing artist. She's a retired art educator, and we all know that a retired art educator never retires. They just get to say yes to what they like to do. And lucky for us, she likes to do this. So she was a big yes for that, and I'm grateful. And she also is, like I said, the most amazing artist. So Melody, thank you so much for being here, and take over the stage and keep teaching us how to make these books.
It's just fun. I mean, I don't know what it is, except that, you know, I'm wearing this bracelet. It's a Debbie West. It's not an endorsement, but it's a Debbie West, and it says there are no mistakes in art. And we can feel like we make mistakes, but when we're doing something personal, like altering a book, there are, number one, there's nothing you can do that you can't probably fix when you're altering a book, or maybe it needs to take its own journey. You know, maybe you're going with it one way, and then, you know, you suddenly realize you've glued the wrong pages together or whatever. Then you just stop and you focus and you go, okay, where is this going? What am I going to do now? You know, you take what you've got and you let it direct you sometimes. So I just love doing this. I love sharing this with you, and I know that this is just a springboard. A lot of you have already done this before, and you have techniques that I don't know about, and these are just some that I use. So, you know, like I said, there's no mistakes, so feel free to do this. Feel free to share, and feel free to type in your questions, and I will do my best to answer them. But also, just let it be the journey it's supposed to take. I want to share now a little bit of what we're going to be doing. The first thing I want to share, though, is this book that I started last spring with my students. They were learning online, and I'm going to try to switcheroo the camera here so that you can see my work table. And this is the book. It is a book that, this is the name of the book. Oh Mother West Wind.
Hey, Melody,
Yes.
we've got two screens looking. It looks like you've got your shared screen and your video up.
Oh, really?
So you can,
Okay.
if you want to stop sharing screen, if you just want to stay on your camera part,
Uh-huh.
you can do that. Otherwise, it's a kind of a
I'll
funky looking view right now.
Oh, I'm glad you told me. So I'll do stop showing screen. Is that what I do?
Yes,
Is that it?
perfect.
So now you can just see this. And you know what? If
Yes.
we don't even get to the PowerPoint, I'm okay with that because this is what I want you to learn to do. But anyway, this is the book that I chose. It was going to be discarded, Old Mother West Wind. And I liked it because I had planned to tell the story of COVID and work on this through the quarantine, and with my students online, they were doing their own things. I did not tell them they had to do this thing, but some of them chose, after seeing this, they chose to express how they were feeling about going through the pandemic through their altered book. And I'm just saying, as a teacher, as an educator, that just makes you feel like you've done well. If they can express themselves and how they're feeling through their art. So this is the little book. Now I cut out, and I did this on another book too, I cut through the cover with an X-Acto. You cannot be in a hurry to do this. You just cut a little bit out at a time and pull it out. Do not try to cut all the way through the book at once. But I wanted to cut a window because this is like a window into, and it's an unfinished book. I'm still working on it. But anyway, this is some scrapbook paper that I had. And by the way, if you used to work on scrapbooks and you don't anymore, or if there is a mom at your school that donated you tons of scrapbook stuff, take it, because you can definitely use it in altered books. So this is some donated scrapbook paper, and I had the idea of just watching. So this is a sweet little book. It's just a sweet little story. And I didn't want to make it too scary. I did find out that by whiting out this, and once again, it's not finished yet, I could almost get the letters COVID in there. It says Old Mother West Wind, but I cut off part of the C. There was an O, that was a W. I cut part of it off, and then I had an I and a D. This is an idea of blacking out the page. It's unfinished, but and then I want to dedicate it when it's done to all the healthcare workers. And so this is, I want to show you how I embellished. This is a cut-through page. You learned about how to do a cut-through page. This is actually a triple cut-through page, but I cut through this page and saved this, and this is something we all have been, we're looking for. Now it's more available. I don't know about the Lysol spray, but toilet paper is more available now. But anyway, so I glued this on the outside. So this is like the little creature in the forest is also quarantining inside the tree, inside the hut, and looking out and seeing. And this says they could never get near enough. And I just blacked out the other words, but then when you open the page, I then did this where they would hide away in snug little houses underground and would wonder why it was that they could never get near enough to say good morning. And then I glued this in. They were all hiding safely. Now this is from the book. They were all hiding safely. I found that and I said, yes, I'm gonna put that there. I blacked out the whole entire page. You learned this last week, I did a tape transfer right here of this little COVID ball. I just sewed this whole page except where these words were, which I covered with Mod Podge to protect. I just sewed the page and painted all of this. So this is something I painted down in here. I have online lessons, do math, art. So it's online. See, they're on a line, a clothesline. Home Sweet Home, Netflix, rabbit ears, and the family sitting around the table. They're eating a giant peanut. Now this was just another page, and I'm not going to go through the whole book. I just want to show you some things that might spur, might give you some ideas. So this was just a frog on a lily pad, but I made it look like he's washing his hands, and I have captions for that. And this fox did not have a mask on. The fox did not have gloves on or push a cart. I added all of this, and I also added the color to the page. And then I put some little embellished things here. This is another kind of pocket you can make by just folding paper up that you've glued in the book. This is a gessoed page. This one is a pull-out. And I did not know how to do this, so I just made it up. But these were some of the early things that they were saying to do when nobody knew what to do about COVID, and we still don't exactly know. This owl was already in here. And the World Health Organization, big deal during COVID. Well, the owl was there, so I'll say, whoo. And so it says, who knows? And I have countries all over the place. So this shows you, and this is my niche back here. And then this idea was from my grandson. I said, I'm trying to figure out what to do the last page when they're all just, running. He said, let that be after everything's over and nobody has to wear masks anymore, and let them just be throwing the mask in the air. So I said, good idea. So I did that. So anyway, that is the COVID book that I wanted to show you, and I thought if we have time, and I took some time to do that because I wanted to share that with you. Okay, that should have only taken 5 minutes, but it might have taken a little bit longer. I am going by the schedule here. I made a schedule so we get a lot of stuff in. Now, I know that you're going to want to remove, and we're going to get to removing the Mod Podge photo transfer that we did last week, the magazine that we glued into our book, and we're going to do that in a minute. But I want to take a minute to just show you a few simple pop-ups that you might be able to use in your book. Now, some of you might be saying, like, we know how to do pop-ups, and I think that's great if you do. I think it's wonderful. But some people may not know a few simple pop-ups, and I want to show them really quickly because I'm going to show you what you can do with a pop-up. In the center of this book, which is my story, I have a cube pop-up. Now, it is a cube pop-up, but what I did with it is I cut out parts of it so that it looked like a bridge. And then I glued these little figures, these little silhouettes of children behind it. Encourage your hopes, not your fears. We all want to do that. Artists love. But anyway, so, and this paper that is on here, this background gorgeous paper, is done with a jelly plate, a gel plate, and acrylic paint and deli wrap. I put deli wrap on the list. So I make these really nice collage papers with that. So, and then of course this is, I don't know if you can see at the bottom, there you go. This is just washi tape. I love to use washi tape. So we're gonna do a simple pop-up. I'm also gonna show you how to do, actually, I think, the correct term for a cube pop like that is a pop out. This to me is a pop up. This is where when you open the book, these wings pop up. This is my prayer book that I showed you last time. And right here, I have a pop out attached to the pop up. So I'm going to show you a cube pop up, a beak pop up, and or pop out, however you want to say it. And then I'm going to show you a where you can make it actually pop up. So we're going to do it really quick. You need to get a piece of construction paper, or you could possibly use a piece of paper that you cut out of your book. We'll see how that works. I'll just use this one. It's a little bit flimsy. I hope you can see it. That's the only thing about using construction paper is I know you can see it better. But I'm going to just use this. So you fold it in half. You're going to be working from the folded edge. So you fold it in half. Are you scrambling to find your construction paper, just grab one of the sheets of your book, because you can learn it this way, and then you might end up wanting to glue this into your book. I'm going to do a beak first. Move this so you can see better. Put this under it. Okay, and you are going to just do one simple cut that's about 1.5 inches long on the folded side of this folded paper. You are then going to fold it back at a right angle. And I always try to say that with my students. This is a right angle, so that I'm reinforcing what they learned. And then I'm going to fold it back over this way, because you want to have a really good crease. Then you're going to fold this side that way. And then you fold it back. Okay? I'm kind of giving you just a minute to do that. Then open it up. Pull out this side and fold your paper back. So what I did is I opened it up, I pulled this out, and I folded it back and creased it. Then I'm going to fold this part back, and I'm going to crease it. And then you have a beak fold. So it says, hello, how are you? Do you like all your books like I do? Okay, and you can do many things with this. I've had students that put another piece of paper behind it and draw an eye in there where it's like watching. You know, it opens and closes. And I would then glue this in the gully of the book. So you want to glue it down where it matches this. You would put glue on this side, and then you let it sit down, and then you put glue on this side, and then you close the book, and then it will stick in there. I will show you on a page where I'm not here. I'll do it here. I wish you could see this better. Can you see it okay? I hope so. All right, so if I'm going to put glue on there, I'm just going to show you, because it's better if I show you now. I'm putting glue on this. I would probably be a little more thorough with this. Now I'm going to show you why you do that. Now I'm going to put it right in the gully. So my fold goes in the gully. Then I'm going to put glue on this side. After I put glue on that side and glued it in the book, I'm going to put glue on this side. I'm then going to close my book. The reason I close my book is because then it's going to be the right place inside my book. Hello. Okay? So you can think of reasons, according to your theme, whatever it is you're doing, that you might want a pop-up like this. Now, I'm going to show you another pop-up.
Hold on real quick. One of the questions is when you're talking about some of your adhesives, glue, Mod Podge, gel medium, washi tape, do you use specifics because since they're not all created equal?
I'd probably use a glue stick for this like I did. I don't want it to ooze out, and it's going to hold. If my paper is super, super heavy or something, then I might use a liquid glue or Mod Podge, but you don't have to.
Yep, and Glenda, I would say in terms of the glue stick, Melody, hold yours out, because that Yoo-Hoo glue stick really is one of the better glue sticks out there.
Y'all sell these?
Yes, we do.
I'm just telling you, thanks to Donna Anderson. Donna Anderson got me on these Yoo-Hoo glue sticks, and I'm just telling you, they are so awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, Journal Plotter junkies use them too. David Modler and Eric, they use them as well.
Yeah, they're awesome. So Yoo-Hoo glue stick. All right. And they don't dry out as much either, and they hold like crazy. All right, so that's how you do that one. Now we're going to do another one. This is going to be a cube fold, and I'm just going to do it on this paper. You're going to fold your paper again. We're working always from the folded edge. I'm going to cut 2 lines, and I am cutting them equally. Okay, folded edge, 2 lines quickly. I'm thinking you're doing it. Okay, now I'm going to fold this back, and I crease it. Fold it back this way and crease it. I think a really good pop out or pop up, it's always better if you have a really nice crease. Okay? Then I'm going to open it up. I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to, once again, crease it. There it is. And this is how I made the bridge. I just cut this out. That's how I made it. And once again, you would glue it inside. You could have it holding things. It could be a present. My students, I had them work on some fairy tale books, which may be in an article, upcoming article. I'm not sure. But anyway, when they did their fairy tale books, they made this a table or three bears beds, you know. There's all kinds of things. You can make multiple on a page. So that's a really simple one, and you'd glue it in the inside just like before. Okay, we're doing good? All right, let's say I like this one, and I not only want it to, I don't want to glue it in the book like that. I want it to pop up like this, like I did with the wings. I want it to pop up when you open the book. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay. This is the folded edge right here. Take the bottom and fold up a tab that is about half-inch tab. Make sure that's a good crease. Oh, it's 2:22 already? My goodness. I'm a little bit behind what I wanted to do, but I think we're okay. All right. Now, this is the folded side. This is the folded side. On the folded side, I'm going to cut out a little triangle like that. Folded side. Okay. This is going to be such an interesting book. It's a Mod Podge of books. All right. I mean Mod Podge. Oh, well, I've got Mod Podge on the brain. Okay. Anyway, now, this is something I want to talk about. I would not be doing this on a blank page. This page would already be finished. I could put more things on top of it, but it's going to be really hard to work around this pop-up. I would already have this created into whatever I wanted it to be. If it's a present, you know, to be already decorated. I did this pop-up virtually the day after Thanksgiving with my family, with all the children, all my greats and grands. And it was so much fun. They loved this. And we made this a present, you know. So anyway, but okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our glue stick. You probably want to use it not on the book because you don't want to accidentally, I'm going to close the book. You don't want to accidentally get glue on the page and then the whole pop-up won't. But I want to make sure that I have enough glue on this side, but don't put it on the other side. Don't put it over here yet. Just put it here. Then I'm going to open my book where I want it. That's the glued side. And I am going to glue this down where this middle part is right in the gully, right in the little trench right there in your book. Now, where you put this on the page matters because it could stick out, which mine does sometimes, but that's okay. And you are then going to, oh dear, I did something. I guess live and learn, right? I did something wrong, but that's okay. We can still do this. This actually needs to be on your page, folded back this way. So I'm just gonna make my little thing go through the other side. So in other words, instead of gluing it in like I was originally, you need to pop your card through the other way, which is all right. We fixed it. That's the way it's going to be popping up, is like this. Can you see that? I hope so. All right, so this tab has to fold back. Kris, does everybody understand what I just did?
I do not have any questions on that, but I will tell you, by making the mistake and fixing it, that helped me tremendously.
You know, that's the thing. It happens all the time. The first time I did this workshop, I did it at the national conference. I didn't tell people how to tear it out, right, tear their pages out right. I mean, so there's always going to be something that kind of comes because you're used to working on this on your own and make your own mistakes. But I don't want you to make mistakes.
Exactly. No, you're doing just fine, and I think we're doing
So
great.
you understand that this tab has to go back this way. It doesn't come in front of the pop-up. It goes behind it. All right, now I'm going to fold it down. Then I'm going to put glue on this tab. And then I'm going to close my book. Now, normally you want to let this dry a little while, but it will still pop up. Looky there. We did it. It popped up. And to make those angel wings, I just made that the shape. You know, I just made this the shape of wings. Now I'll show you. See? I just made it the shape of wings, so it actually opens up like that. And then in front of it, I put a little square pop-up with little children praying. All right. So isn't that fun? It's so fun to make these. Boom. Okay. 3 pop-ups, and there are so many different ones that we could go through, but that's all we're going to do for that for now. Okay. Now I want to show you about, I just love that. Okay. I want to show you now, probably, I could show you in the COVID book. I think I would like to. Here we are. Because I've got a page that's gessoed already in here. I want to show you a method. This page is already gessoed. It doesn't have to be gessoed, but this is a very dramatic effect, and some of you already know all these mixed media methods, but maybe you never thought about putting them in a book. I don't know. These pages that I did here were all gessoed before I painted them. I painted all these houses after the pages were gessoed. And the gesso and the paint actually gives the pages a lot more stability too. This is the dramatic effect that I used for blowing ink. And I protected this by putting some Mod Podge over the words first, so that if I got any ink on there, I could wipe it off. You could put a little bit of clear wax crayon over there, anything to protect the words that you want to leave in. But I'm just going to show you on this gessoed page because I think it will show better. I just learned this. And to be honest with you, I don't think I even brought a straw, because I was thinking before, how I did this before was I would put some ink on the page, and I might even use red. This is a really pretty color, but I think it might be dramatic for this. And you just drop your ink on the page, and you could do multiple inks if you wanted to, multiple colors. And then in the classroom, it might be a problem if we blow the ink now. I had someone saved some of those straws that have papers on them, so they were always clean for me in the classroom. But now with all the germs going around, I don't know that I would use those straws. But I found this really nifty tool that is a Tim Holtz tool. He has really some pretty cool mixed media stuff. You know, I usually find them on sale, but I saw this and I think I splurged and bought it. It's like it blows the ink, so watch. And you can play with this and blow it all different kinds of ways. And I thought, that looks like something else I've seen before. It looks like something I remember. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the little, what was this called? I don't remember. But anyway, it was for babies, you know, when their little nose gets runny and you would help them. So.
Oh yeah, that's what you get their little bugs out with.
Yeah, get the bugs out with. You want to make sure you have a new one for this?
Some real nasty stuff on your pages.
Yeah, you want to make sure it's a new one. Don't bring your baby's old ones up to school because that also has germs. Okay, so it works. It works. I mean, if I play with it, it's hard when I'm holding it and not, you know, for the camera or whatever. But this also works like that. But if you're doing this at home, a straw works great. I just would not use straws for the kids to blow their germs now, you know, during COVID. But. So isn't that fun? And I've had students that would just do this. This was an assignment in Sketchbook. And they would just do this and then see what it looked like and then make a picture out of it. But that's just a fun thing. I just wanted to show y'all that little cute trick. Okay, another really neat thing that I've discovered, and I know I can make these, but this is called Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist. I am not getting product. I'm not getting any kind of endorsements, don't worry. But I really like these sprays, and I have found them on sale. When I find them on sale, I get them. But I could probably make them. They're inks, and they have all kinds of, sometimes they have a little bit of shiny in them, and also they're really neat for distressing. And I like them because it's not just a fine mist. It also does these little globs on there, which look really cool. I love this stuff. Anyway, and then it dries. It even looks better when it's dry. You know, it distresses really nicely. And another distressing thing, I'll show you all these distressing things. Okay, another distressing thing that I use sometimes is a little gold paint. And there's something called Rub-n Gold or Rub-n Buff or something like that. It's an old tool. I had my little sponge thing. I will find it quickly. If I don't find it, I'll keep moving, Melody. Keep going, keep going. I got another one here. I like using these. They're just little sponge things. They can fit on your finger, but you can also just use cosmetic sponges, whatever. And for distressing the page sometimes, and I'm going to put a little bit of this. This is just, you know, folk art gold. Put a little bit on there. And then I'm just to make the pages look old or gold or whatever, you can just distress the pages like this. So all these little touches just add so much. You know, go dig out your old cosmetic sponges if you do makeup, if you wear makeup. And so this is just that. That's all it is. And sometimes when I finish the book, I will go over the edges of it with this, just to kind of give it that. Okay, 234. How are we doing? Are we good?
We are doing so good. You'll be so proud. I actually have a page collaged.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to see it. And when you collage, are you using, oh, I'm going to show you a collage tip that you may not know about, but and once again, please don't let me insult all of you. Don't let me insult your intelligence. I learned this just from doing. I'm going to get a book page because this is such a, okay, here's a book page, a part of a book page. I'm going to move this over here. When you're doing collage, whatever you tear towards you, the edge will not be, it won't have this. Whatever you pull towards you. So what goes away from you has this white edge, and sometimes you want that torn edge, but sometimes you don't. You just want this kind of edge.
Oh my gosh, don't ever think you're insulting anybody, because I am a terror of paper all the time. I just thought it was the kind of paper that made the edge.
Now,
Dang,
you can,
girl.
I know, isn't that amazing? I was so excited when
so excited.
And I figured that out, I think. Amazing. But, I mean, other people have too, but I didn't read it. There are also tools you can get to tear, decal tools. They're little rulers and stuff. But, you know, basically, I love the roughness of this. And sometimes you want that in your book, but sometimes you want this. So that's just a little collage technique that I learned. Okay. Next is we are going to go back to our book, this book. By the way, this was a little, this is from the other day with all the children. We did this with the little pop out. The other thing was we're going to remove this page. If you did not see last week, please go back and look at it, because I'm going to be honest with you. This kind of removing it is a little bit more tricky to me than the tape. The tape wins every time. I mean, every time the tape wins to me. This is, you have to be so patient with this, because if you're not patient, and those of you who actually know me know that I'm like always gangbusters and whatever. I'm not going to spray this. I'm going to actually, some people even use a sponge. I don't know what I did with my sponge, so I'm just going to use brush. I'm going to wet this. Now, last week, you have to look at the video from last week to know what's about to happen. But I'm going to wet this. This is the one that I did with Mod Podge, I believe. No, gel medium. So I'm going to make sure it's good and wet. Sometimes I will even wait a minute, like put a little bit more water on there and wait. I am always not the most patient person, but now I'm going to start kind of pulling at it to see if it's, oh, it's coming. All right, now I'm going to start rubbing this, and I'm rubbing the other image off. And this, I'm not even going to take up your time by doing this. I just wanted to show you the method. But if you get in a hurry and you just start rubbing it like that, then you're going to pull the ink off of the other side. You know, especially if you did not put enough, you need to put a really good layer of that gel medium or Mod Podge on there, or you'll start rubbing it off. I actually also saw a really neat method recently, because I'm always looking for other methods, for photo transfer, for a print transfer using wax paper. But I did not want to put wax paper in our brand new printer, so I started to do it just to see if it worked and then tell you about it. But I decided that I didn't want to put wax paper in a new printer, because you have to kind of feed it in there. But then you can just rub the wax, the ink off on the wax on wood, and I would imagine that it would also work on the cover of your book. So then you're going to pull this off. But I promise you, underneath this is the image that we glued on the inside. You watched me do it last week. So I would just keep doing this gently, gently until I pulled all that paper up. Do not tell my former students that I just let my brush sit in the water like that, because that's a nickel fine. I just can't do it. I have to put it down here. Okay. That is how you do it. And I could keep doing this, but I don't want to take all my time, all of your precious time, our 1 hour that flies by doing this. But that is how you do it. And you want to be very, very, there we go. See, I tore it up because I got in a hurry. Now, sometimes that even looks kind of cool when you know, it'll have torn edges. But you can see, I think you saw me glue this one in. It's a really neat picture. But you can see the other image underneath there that would also surface. Maybe if I do this later, I'll share a photo on Facebook or something. And I might show this method on my YouTube channel. Please look up my YouTube channel is, and please subscribe. I hope that's okay to ask you to subscribe. But I'm trying to be, it's Melody Weintraub's online art class. Go to that one. Don't go to the other one, because the other one is going to disappear one day. It was attached to a different email I don't have anymore. And so go to Melody Weintraub's online art class and please subscribe. I would love to have subscribers. I need to put some more videos. Oh, there it comes. It's the lady that was doing the needle point work underneath there. Oh, I hope I don't mess her up. There she is. So this book is all about art, and so this is going to be fabric art. Can you see her underneath there? Can you see that? There she is. And I would just keep rubbing this, and then I let it dry, and then I go back and see if I can get some more of the paper off, gently rubbing. Don't be in a hurry. That's just so cool. And I used gel medium. Okay, I'll get back to you later. Now I want to show you a method that I learned from Bakke, who is in our Tennessee Art Education Association. I went to a workshop in Middle Tennessee, and she had this technique for using these writers, which Nasco does sell. I asked. You can fill them with whatever you want to write with. This is filled with gesso. So I wrote on here with the gesso first, let it dry overnight. When it was dry, then I texturized it. So I wrote the words open, art journey, and the paintbrush I put here. This is a sticker that's pretty cool. But, and then I put these little tabs on here. So if you cut, but you leave that edge, you know, it's pretty sturdy because it's covered with canvas, the book cover is. And that's the little cowboy my daddy taught me to draw when I was little. So this is all about my journey. And so I made like a little door that you can open it up and see. Okay. But anyway, so how that is you just decide what you want. I'm just going to put art, and maybe I'll go right over these letters. I did not yet. I'm so glad, because I did not check to see if this was clogged, and it was not clogged, which means I put the lid back on, which is also quite amazing. And there you go. How are we doing? 2:44. All right, so I would let this dry overnight, and then tomorrow I can go back in and do something. You can write whatever you want to. And just make sure you pop that little lid back on. These were made, I think, originally made for putting glaze, writing, you know, with glaze, but they work for this too. There you go. And if you have to, if you buy one that doesn't have the little top, remember, don't cut the top too far down, because you want to have a fine line. Or you could make one, you could have several, have one with a thick line, and then you could cut the next one, you know, you could cut it a little bit farther up, because the farther down you cut it, the thicker your line is going to be when you're writing with it, right? Click. Good job. All right. We're going to put this aside. What else? Now we're going to go back to our practice book. And look at that ink. See, now it's drying. Oh, it's going to be so awesome. Okay. It makes me think about the things that's been shared on some memes about glitter and about COVID, and the, you know, like it's like you see where glitter goes, that could be the germs, you know. So I don't really love to use glitter, but I might have to use glitter on that page to demonstrate this. Oh, it wasn't in this book. It was in our other book. Okay. Last week, what you did was you glued the edges of the back of your book, and you clamped them down, and you waited 24 hours before you took them off. And hopefully it looks really smooth now. If it looks rippled, like mine does right there, that means I didn't have enough glue right there, or I didn't clamp it good. So once again, my mistakes help you. Now I'm just going to cut. I want my niche to whatever shape I want my niche. Oh, by the way, oh, where did we get these? Donna Anderson, if you're on this thing, on this session, you need to just type in where we got these cool stamps. I've forgotten now the name of the company, but you can order them. And this is this just says altered book, and so you know you can put it in your little altered book. I just love these stamps. There's all different kinds. We got it for artist trading cards, and there's tons of them. So, but anyway, this might be a pretty large square, but you want to have some kind of template to draw around. And it's easier, obviously, to do a square cut than it would be to do a fancy kind of like swimming pool cut, you know, like a kidney shape or something. It's going to be easier to do a square cut. I just feel like this is a really big template. You don't want it to be too close to the edge either way, because then it's not going to have as much stability. I am going to break my own rule, and what's in here at the present? I'm just gonna draw it, but I'm gonna draw because I want to show you that I want to draw, and I would use a template if you're doing this for the first time, but since I'm just showing you this, this is what I want my niche to look like right here. Okay, and now to cut it out, these pages are already glued. You just try to take out one page at a time. Make sure your X-Acto is sharp. Easiest way to cut yourself with an X-Acto is to have a dull X-Acto. So you just want to try to take out maybe 1 or 2 pages at a time. And once again, I would save them. I try to teach my students at school not to cut with an X-Acto towards your hand, right? The other thing about cutting with an X-Acto that I learned from someone, I was doing art camp at our church, what I learned was you don't want to, when you're cutting with an X-Acto, you don't want to look at where you're cutting. You want to look right past it, because then you're going to cut a neater line. Do you understand what I said? I hope. Because it was a really good thing for me to learn. If you want to cut a straight line with an X-Acto, don't look at where your blade is. Look where you're going. And then you want to take it out. Oh, look, there's a page. Now I'm going to cut this out. But, you know, that's the thing. Sometimes you're cutting through and you see something. When I was cutting this other page, and I can save them, I can glue them back in there because I'm doing this all the way down. So you want to keep doing this until you go all the way through all the pages. Now, don't go all the way through to the back. You want to just kind of keep gauging. Like I would look this way and say, okay, I'm about that far down right now. And I would keep gauging it so that you have, that it has stability on the back of it. That one I probably cut a little deep. When I finish cutting all the niche out, when I finish the whole niche, I'm then going to put glue, like let's say I've cut all the way through, this is like an inch thick, then I'm going to put glue on the inside here on those pages to make it stable. I'm going to also show you a neat trick that I did in this book. Once again, this is my art story. This was a book on wildflowers. So I was really careful when I started cutting out because there was these beautiful flower illustrations on the inside. But since this is all about nurturing and growing flowers, here's my page for Faith. She's a dear friend. And I have different types of photo transfers in here. But anyway, so when I go back here, I started just kind of cutting around the leaves and things. So when you're cutting your niche, it can look like anything. This, the reason this is shiny right here, can you see this? Let me move this over. This is a product blister. What is a product blister? Well, when you buy your new supplies from Nasco or whatever, it has a piece of plastic over the product so it doesn't get lost, right? Or it doesn't dry out. This is called a product blister. I looked it up. And so this was a clear product blister. I cleaned it up and I glued it on the back of the page before I glued these pages together because I knew I wanted to do this. No, I didn't. I glued it on the top. Excuse me. I did. I glued it right on top of that just to kind of make it like a little window. So this is a niche. And then because I was doing these, I was cutting this out, I said, oh, I can make a little book right there. So I made a little book and put some pretty paper over it. Okay, let's see if there's anything in here. In the Anne Frank book, this is probably my favorite niche. I put the glue on the inside, and then I put a piece of ribbon on the inside, and this is her little corner. I actually got these little books from the dollhouse section at one of the hobby stores, and I wrote Anne Frank's words inside the little books. I know. Yeah. But I enjoy doing stuff like that, kind of detailed. Didn't put anything in Jupiter. That was her favorite book. I also put that on there. But there are mirrors all throughout the book. And the reason there are mirrors is because I wanted to reflect on what she went through and to see her in myself. So that's why there's so many reflected pages, mirrors. And I put that little dollhouse mirror in the back. And then this is some of that. Once again, this isn't wallpaper. I made this paper out of, with template. There was a template I used. But I made this paper out of deli wrap that goes in the back. And then I glued everything in. This is glued in with either E6000 glue or hot glue. And this is the niche. See? So there's different ways that you can do the niche. There's no rule on that, except that I probably wouldn't cut all the way through to the back. And this one, also, I put reflective paper here. That's the niche for the prayer book. And I guess that's all on that. It's 2:54. I will now, I think we have time for, let me see if I showed you everything on here. Yep. We're
We are
good.
doing good. I know one thing that I would love is for you to give a little bit of, you've done a great job in terms of the different pages that you can do. And I would like to know how many pages can I do while I'm sitting down at a time? Like, because obviously when you're collaging, it gets a little bit sticky.
It won't with this stuff. Just get some deli wrapper, wax paper.
Oh,
And put,
yep. I remember that. And I remembered not to bring it this time. I forgot it last time too. Hey,
it's okay.
if you want to, Melody, can you see me on your screen?
Let me see. All right, I'm going to come back to, I'm going to take it off this. Let me stop sharing. Nope. I can do this here. Hang on. Preferences.
I think you just need to switch to your other camera.
Right. See? Hi. Am I there?
You are excellent. So here is my page.
Oh, look.
And so it's pretty simplistic. I'm going to be honest with you. I gessoed first, and then I tore paper and I cut out words. It says, "This is an artistic test." So when you first open the book, it's going to tell you, like, this is my first one.
Yeah.
And I also found, this was from an NHA magazine.
Remember Andy Warhol, never apologize for your art.
Oh, good point. Well, I almost always do, Andy, so I'm super sorry. This said, push your boundaries as an artist. So yeah, and then I even took a little watercolor and did a little
sure.
splatter because I didn't have a spritz bottle. So super excited about that.
Did you splatter with a toothbrush?
No, I splattered right with my
with the brush.
I splattered right with my brush.
Yeah.
But a toothbrush, no, does lovely.
Yeah, you use the toothbrush. Yeah, also. Yeah,
I was
awesome.
I was just doing the, kind of like tap your cigarette, which of course you never say to a student. YouTube channel is included in the handouts. It's Melody Weintraub art class.
Online art class.
Yes. And so if you even just Google her in the YouTube area, both of them will come up, and to do the art class one. Honestly, one of the videos that she has on there is somebody who took her class, and they gave some great suggestions for some other links as well.
Yes.
Other questions that we might have, but Melody,
yes.
sort of finish up in regards to, like, other thoughts, or this little cutout thing is going good. I, of course, started before you gave the full directions and did a circle.
It doesn't matter. It's just, if you can do a circle, do a circle. There are also little X-Acto knives that cut nicely in a circle.
Yeah, that would be good to have.
So very cool. I meant to bring this little tool that I had, and I forgot, but that's okay. Let me see. I think I have showed you most of the little gadgets that I use. This is just up to you. That's what's beautiful about your book,
isn't it?
Yes, there's so many possibilities. I would say, number one, start with a healthy book. Don't start with one that's already falling apart, because it will fall apart on you. Make sure that you thin it out, like we did, tear 2, save 2. If it's a giant book, you can tear 3, save 2. Save 2, tear 3, or tear 4. You can also glue 2 glued pages together to make a pocket.
Yes.
So if you had 2 glued pages.
You're the wrong amount off, just either tear one extra out or glue it together.
Right, just glue it together. That's just so fun, because, and I would say work on this, and I would also suggest that you make, like I shared last week, this sample book by Susan DeGarmo, dear friend of mine. She and I are thinking about maybe writing an altered book.
Absolutely.
But anyway,
Linda says this has been great, so many ideas, and she wants to know if
really,
there'll be more webinars. We do Maker Monday every single, well, not every single Monday, but almost every Monday. We have 2 more in December, and we probably will take 2 off just to give everybody a little bit of a break. But the next one is with Destina Page. And Melody, you may be familiar with Destina because she also, yes,
she was at she was at the Altered Books workshop I did at National. I love her. She's awesome. It's a small world, but y'all take care.
It's
Yes.
extremely steamy.
Oh, that's her Monday, Maker Monday.
Her Monday is going to be the Eco Prints. And so you won't be able to follow along because it's a lot of measured and like baths, but you will be able to get all of the information and all of the ingredients and art materials that go with it. But it's leaves and rust and flower as in flowers. It's gonna, but it would lend itself to potentially using it in books as well.
Yes, Kris, because Kris, what I did was, this was at the end of the year for students. So I included everything they had learned all through middle school as one of the elements of what they need to include. So yes, any kind of mixed media, painting, whatever you do. Absolutely. I've loved this so much. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Melody, thank you so much. I am super excited. I personally have learned tremendously, and the comments that we have been getting have been all favorable. And so I will work to see if there's any questions that have been unanswered, and we will get them to you. Please feel free to email me. Definitely check out Melody's YouTube channel and all her information that she added.
On the website.
Yes, and if you have any problems downloading those handouts, please email me, kbakke@nascoeducation.com. Thank you, everybody. Please continue to stay safe. Please be happy, and please keep teaching art.